So my adventure this week started when I received an email from Mr. Gideon Bakar in Burkina Faso. Now, of course, Gideon is working with a reputable bank which he needs to remind me of, and as always is the case with banks in Africa, one of their clients many years ago made a large deposit and is now dead. That means a random stranger, namely me, is now the sole living heir. Now, it's my lucky day, so I respond, Dear Gideon, thank you for your email and offer. I'd like to know more about this offer. Please email me when you can. The next email is obviously a pre-made template which I shan't read out, but naturally I get some spiritual and religious claptrap because just talking about religious morals makes you an honest person, doesn't it? Gideon also attaches his ID from the bank which I can add to my collection of hilarious fraudulent IDs which I'm beginning to get quite a few of. In fact, I'm getting so many of them I'm thinking of starting a scrapbook. So as you can see, the ID photo itself looks like it's been copied from an expired passport from the 90s. Neither signature matches. His position. The logo is so compressed and is likely a copy-paste from another piece of clip art. And finally, the ID is so legitimate that the stamp comes off the actual card. Next I get an email which is supposedly a form I'm to fill in with my personal banking details, which brings me to the conclusion that the intention here is to empty my bank account. So I respond with a bunch of made up streets and numbers, including for a bank that doesn't even exist, whilst I hope he doesn't watch Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. The next email from Gideon states, Dear Oliver, I received your information and have forwarded it to the bank that will handle the transfer. If you receive any response from the bank, please forward the message to me for advice on what to respond to the bank. I wait a couple of days and I get no response, so I write back to Gideon asking, Dear Gideon, it's been a couple of days. Is everything moving forward as planned? Gideon promptly responded to me with this rather rude email. Dear Oliver, it is unbelievable that you have started lying to me when we have not yet gone deep into the business. When I saw your mail this morning, I quickly went to the Office of Foreign Transfer Director, where I submitted your bank information to inquire why they had not responded to you. The secretary told me outrightly they have contacted you and even opened a file for you in the bank. Why are you still asking if our plan is in place? All you have to do is respond to the bank so they will continue business with you. If you can't reply to them, send the message you receive from the bank to me that I will know what you should reply to them and advise. Well, it turns out that Mr. Oliver Alawuba had indeed emailed me an online login portal to a website that is likely fake or may contain a virus, and so for obvious reasons I won't open it. The email ended up in my junk mail folder, so using my Christian morals and honesty, which show that I'm not a time-wasting joker, I replied to Gideon, Dear Gideon, why are you calling me a liar? I find it personally insulting as a Christian man of morals and will demand an immediate apology. The bank had indeed sent me an email, I just found it in my junk mail folder. This was an honest mistake and it didn't merit such an insult like that. Well, Gideon's quick to apologise. Now, something I like to try with scammers is the old morality trick. I usually claim something like I'm a widowed pensioner with barely a penny to my name, or I need to keep some money aside for a major operation just to see how they'd respond. So I decide to push ahead and make up a story about being a single dad who had a son with cerebral palsy. Gideon, unfazed, presses ahead with his scam and tries to give me some parenting advice. I'm very sorry for the situation you find yourself now. The mother would have left a child only for you to send upkeep money. You can find a maid to take care of your son because you have to make provision for his future. God will see both of you true. It's a couple of days before I write back, so Gideon starts off the response with asking me how my son is. I tell Gideon that we're further north of Arizona on holiday. Sorry, vacation. And won't respond for a few days. Later that week, I get more emotional blackmail from Gideon about how my son will like African weather, and of course the same religious claptrap of may God help him to regain his physique, and men of God in Africa can help him, and that finally he has an uncle in Africa who will soon be with him in Arizona. Now this just reiterates to me the kind of evil low-life individual who is behind this scam. Now going back to the email received from Mr. Oliver Alawuba, which was a fake web link, I took the liberty of going to the actual United Bank of Africa website and then I tell Gideon, Dear Gideon, I clicked on the link provided and it appeared to take me to a fake UBA website. I guess that must be an issue with the bank's admin department over there. Anyway, I went to the real UBA website and I was able to access the bank account and have started the money transfer over to my own account here in Arizona. I must say I'm quite thrilled to finally have the money, and I thank you for your kindness and ease in which we have carried out this transaction. In his next email, Gideon appears to be a little panicked and he says to me, "But how do you intend to return my share, or do you want to keep all the money? However, no UBA website is fake. The bank can't give you fake website, okay? Maybe you failed to type the correct website. I'm waiting for your urgent answer to know how you will send me my share." Now for the last part, I want to credit Atomic Shrimp for giving me the idea in his emails to and from Mr. Barrister John Morosa. So I tell the scammer that the money is now pending in my bank account and that I can transfer over his share via Bitcoin. I also give him the web address for the real UBA website, which I supposedly use the login details I was provided for. It's a few days and I get no response from Gideon until I email him to say, "Gideon, I hope you're well. The money has cleared and I have purchased a new disabled access car for my son and I'm looking at getting us a new house. However, it will need some disabled access fitting, but will be perfect for our needs. I must say I didn't know that the money was actually real after being linked to a different website, but after I accessed the money through the real UBA website, I was able to get the money. I can do a bank transfer to you. Would this work? I can even do Bitcoin or MoneyGram. Those are easier than going through the bank, I think. Attached is a photo of our new house and the new car I have purchased. It would so honour me if you could come and visit us sometime, as you are the man who totally changed our lives as I was giving up all hope. Have a great day." I got a couple of generic photos from Google Images to attach, and surprisingly Gideon responded with a sarcastic, less than amused email to try and make me feel like an idiot, and he says, "You are so very funny, my dear. Please keep the money for you and your disabled son, as I know such money can be a boomerang. The money I propose to you is still intact in the bank." And that was the last I heard from Gideon Bakar. Now to wrap up, I want to reiterate and make it clear that these criminals are dangerous people. They think nothing of robbing the most vulnerable people in society, and they will use whatever means necessary just to make a quick buck. If you receive any emails like Gideon Bakar's emails or anyone else's, best advice is to just ignore the email and delete it. And just remember, if something seems too good to be true, it usually is. I'll see you next time.